Sonic 2 races into theaters this weekend, but is it time to pump the brakes for your excitement? Find out in my review for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Hi, I'm Matt with State of Flux here to give you a review for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, or as I keep reading it from the poster, Sonic 2 the Hedgehog. This is a movie that I was kind of excited for. The first movie I was a little, cautious about, especially after that very first trailer. The second trailer was better. Then I saw the movie, and for whatever reason, it worked. It shouldn't have. A lot of the elements that are problematic in a lot of adaptations, such as the Smurfs or Garfield and any of these other number of things where you have a digital friend paired up with a charismatic, funny guy, just for whatever reason don't work, but Sonic did. The Marsden of it all was very, he grounded it and he anchored the film quite well, and then Jim Carrey, who is just so lively and over the top, a human cartoon in his own, really kind of worked for that film, so it got me excited for the second movie, especially with the tease at the end of the first one. Coming into this one, the trailers looked fantastic. I was pumped. The posters, marketing material, everything was there. And I saw the movie this very day, and I was kind of meh about it all. It's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it is just incredibly unremarkable. But remarkably not as fun as it should be. Like, this movie deep dives into Sonic lore, which if you're a Sega or a Sonic guy, is going to really excite you, or it should, but for whatever reason the presentation of it all is kind of just bland. The Sonic elements of the story are so kind of overly serious that it takes the amusement out of an otherwise fun story, and the tonal shift from movie 1 to movie 2, this movie is virtually humorless. Like, the first scene with Jim Carrey on the Mushroom Planet is quite funny, but then that's pretty much the only scene wherein the Jim Carrey character is kind of funny at all. Dr. Robotnik and or Eggman or whatever you want to call him in this is just kind of sinister bad guy who befriends Knuckles, who's also sinister bad guy, and then Sonic's dealing with the weight of the world, and Tails is there to kind of ground him, and it becomes their kind of buddy story, and that story works. The thing that I really liked in that first movie was the James Marsden character and his wife and all that stuff. None of that should have been interesting or even likable, and for whatever reason all of it was some of my favorite parts of that movie. And James Marsden and all that storyline is in here, but it's almost as if they just tried to write them out because they didn't really know what to do with them. So they're kind of written out, but they're still very much at the forefront of the story as it keeps cutting back. And it kind of reminded me of Tom and Jerry, where you have the animal characters keep cutting back to the central storyline with these human characters that is nowhere near as interesting or anything that's going on with the characters that are, you're there to watch. And just the whole subplot and the B plot with that movie, and there's an undercover sting thing, it's a thing, really just does not work at all. It just grinds the movie to a halt. This movie could easily be a half an hour shorter if you just take the James Marsden character out. However, they wrote themselves into a hole with his inclusion so prominently in that first movie. So you need him and that family and stuff like that. So this sounds like I'm really coming down hard on the movie, and I kind of am. This movie should be way more fun than it is. That said, for who it's aimed for, I watched this with my kid. She liked the movie, and the action in the movie is good. There's a lot of lively characters, and even if the characters, I think, were put to not spectacular use as they were in the first movie, I will say, I still liked all the characters, so it was enjoyable spending more time with them. It's just not as good as the first movie, which is typical sequel fashion. Also, the movie stops dead for a little while to give you yet another bar scene. Like, my only real complaint of the first movie is that whole scene in the bar just could easily be lifted right out of the movie, and movie would speed up 10 minutes and be much more enjoyable experience. This movie does the exact same thing. It's more of the same, but not really. So that's disappointing. Even my kid liked the first movie better. But she came out excited for more, and there is a tease, stay for the post-credit scene in this film, or I guess it's a mid-credit scene, that teases what the next movie is going to be. Awful lot of promise. I'm excited, and just because I didn't like this as much as the first one doesn't mean I've written this franchise off. It's time to just like maybe pump the brakes a little bit to temper your excitement. That's, I think, what my mistake going into this movie was. I had zero expectations of enjoying myself the first time around watching the first movie, and I really enjoyed that movie, and I've enjoyed it on subsequent viewings. This one I was genuinely excited for, and I think I should have just pumped the brakes for that excitement and just experienced the movie that they're capable of giving me, not necessarily the movie that I wanted them to give me. So yeah, I'm excited for the prospect of a third one. Hopefully they can find that good tonal match that first movie had, and sort of bring that energy. I don't even necessarily need the human element in the third movie. I just want some of that sense of humor and that fun that was there throughout the thing. This movie was just too weighty, without having really any stakes, and I think that was the issue. But what did you think of this movie if you've seen it, and what other Sonic properties should we get brought into the filmic landscape? Who's here is excited for like a Nights into Dreams movie or something like that? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Or what was their fighting game that they had? Streets of Rage, is that what it is? That was pretty cool. So who wants that? What what Sega property should be turned into a next feature? Drop those in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.